So Mr. Conway will tell us how to avoid a data breach. Yes, please take your time.
Good afternoon. Thank you very much for giving us your time. I was hoping for maybe a couple of more people, but we'll welcome everybody that is here. Okay, so I'm going to quickly go through how to avoid a data breach. And we'll start at the very, very beginning of data breaches and the front door. Okay, they say we're all under a war, a cyber war at that. And what that actually means is that everybody is attacking us. Why are they attacking us? Because they want to get at our information. Why do they want to get at our information? Because it's worth money. It's the only reason. They want our information so they can sell it for their own gain, because they don't have anything to sell that is actually worthwhile themselves. Okay, so they're selling it on the dark web. It has cost an awful lot of companies an awful lot of money, just in 2018. Okay, so these are dollar numbers, but that is a really big number. Breaches can take an awful long time for them to be detected. Why is that? Because people don't have the tools to know that they have been breached, or they don't have the tools to keep people out. There are an awful lot of back doors in order for people to just walk straight in. So let's just say I work from home and I have a normal router and I have my laptop turned on. So with the normal router, I don't have all the security that I might have when I'm working in the office. Inside in the office, I'd have DLP products, I'd have firewall products, I'd have routers that only allow me to go to certain areas, and I'd have all sorts of stuff. And they take a bit of information now because I'm at home and I've only got a router. And then they use that information when I actually get into the office. So they can probably take my email address, and they will probably figure out from my Facebook account, because that is public, when maybe my kids were born. I'll get back to that little point in a while. So then they've got that little bit of information on me, and they'll gather up a little bit of a portfolio. But they don't just do it on me. They do it on you. They do it on your grandmother. They do it on your mother, and absolutely everybody. And then they piece it all together, and then they go, how can I actually use that again, that piece of information against that person in order to get the valuable piece of information? My date of birth probably is not worth anything, but piece it all together, then they can get the valuable pieces of information, of which I'll actually get to in a second. Employees' passwords to take about 6 hours to crack. Now, with that piece of information I said earlier on of my daughter's name, and I post up on Facebook, hooray, she's 5. They can now get her name, her date of birth, and my email address, because it's up on Facebook as well. So now they can actually, with my daughter's name, most people, or a lot of people, use their daughter's name and their birth date as a password. So now they can get into places. Okay, so now you're actually putting together a little bit of a portfolio of how people actually get into certain sites. In the UK, 25% of all passwords are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In Dubai, where I was actually last week, that password is ABC123. Do you know what it is in this region? Had a guess? I don't know it right now, but I could find out. I could look up on common passwords of this region, and it's probably in the order of maybe QWERTY, QWERTY, because people are lazy with their passwords. I used to be lazy with my passwords. That's all changed. I'll take 2 of these. 81% of breaches are due to weak passwords. Again, my daughter's name and his or her passwords. Her date of birth. And I'm going to reuse that password over and over again. So if they get it once, they can get it 50 times. We do have at least 50 online locations that we actually we go to regularly. And then for all the old ones that we haven't been to in a while, all the old tools because of the old jobs, our jobs actually morph into different things. So we go into more important tools, and I've forgotten all about those ones. So I could have 150 locations where I used to get information before, and I use the same password over and over again. And now if I use that password now going into work, or now if I use that password going into a firewall, now suddenly that one password or those reused passwords now get really, really important, that I'm using them in a really important location. Sure, nobody will figure out my daughter's name or her birth date. Easy. They don't have to do a tool on it, you've already given it to them. Let's take the last one there again. 80% of passwords are reused. That's not uncommon. 4 million average cost of data breach. Why do we get that number? Okay, so GDPR came in there a couple of years ago, and it actually does stipulate that you can have a fine of up to 4% of your global turnover. Not of your profit. They don't care about your profits. They want to know what of your actual turnover. They'll find that out. They'll charge you that much. So now we're talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars, euros, in order that they're actually going to fine you. Okay, so it does actually have an impact on me, because I am actually a bad practitioner of my own passwords. Thank you. Smaller companies go under because of these fines. One, they can't pay the fine because of their overall turnover. Okay, so I buy a product and I sell a product and I actually get the markup on it. Or I buy a product and now I can't actually pay to put in new firewalls. These new firewalls really do cost an awful lot of money. So I can't actually pay the remediation costs in order to make myself any better. So an awful lot of smaller companies actually go down. What's the worth of these pieces of information? Passport is actually worth about $800. Your social security number is probably worth about $1,000. Your date of birth, because they actually want to piece things together, might be worth $50 or $60. So if I actually, as a hacker, if I actually went to a small company and I got 15 pieces of information on every one of your employees, it might actually come away with selling all that information on the dark web of maybe $10,000 to $15,000 if I sell all that information on the dark web. But I must have them all in order. That's what the hackers actually do. They piece it all together and they sell it all as a package. It's worth their while going for the small companies as well as the large companies, because the small companies can't afford the large, more expensive firewalls to keep people out. But it's still worth their while because it's an easier firewall to get around. And the smaller company goes, actually, what do I want to put in that firewall for? No, we don't have data information that they actually want. They do. Cybersecurity starts with password security. Again, I'm bringing that reused password into my firewalls, onto my switches. And if they can navigate all those, they can get to your data really, really easily. And I'm not even talking about encrypting your data like the last speaker was actually talking about earlier on, of being able to encrypt data and making sure that when they do get on, that you're kept out. We're trying to stop you at the door before you actually get in. Problem number one, no visibility or control over employee passwords. Okay, so I've got 50 locations I get my information on a daily basis. So how do I know that Marius has weak passwords or reused passwords? You want to be able to pull a report on these locations. So once we actually give you the application, you want to be able to use it on a daily basis. And now I want to go, okay, so you want a decent report to kind of go on, how many reused passwords and how many weak passwords have you got? And I'll go to him on a weekly or on a monthly basis and kind of go, you haven't done any better this month, have you, Marius? So I want you to get better next month, and we'll take a look at you again. Part of your review and make sure that you're doing better, so I'm actually less at risk, because I'm not going to get charged from the public laws. Okay, and hence you won't lose your job because the company won't go under. It does. Every single part of it has a knock-on effect. Problem number 2, security paradox. If it's too tight, if it's too hard for people to actually use, people are not going to use it. So we want to give you an application that is convenient for you to use and that is easy for you to use. So I can actually have it on my phone, and immediately it can be synchronized over into my laptop. And I can go to and fro if I actually want to. Why do I want to do that? I want to test it. But why do I really want to do it? Well, if I go down, go shopping and go, oh, I should have actually taken care of my car insurance. I just log inside here, update my car insurance, and away I go. And I want to double check that I actually did that properly when I go back to the office and kind of going, yeah, that's my new reference number for this year. And away I go. I don't need to think about it anymore. How many phone numbers do you have in your phone? 150? 1,000? How many do you know? Probably 4, probably 5. You don't care what they are anymore. You care that Marius inside there. You care Roland is inside there. But that's it. So that's where we actually want to get to when we're dealing with passwords from now on. That they're all long, complex, and unique. And they can be as long as you like. So we used to have passwords of 6 characters, 8 characters. Now we're gone to 12 characters. But we could go to 112 characters if we actually wanted to now, because we've now got a convenient application. So actually, all you need to do is paste it in for you. I don't care. I don't look at it. I don't try to remember these things anymore, because I'm now gone to long, complex, unique, and convenient. Okay, so the next couple of slides are a little bit OTT. So enthusiastic about using these things all day long. But of course, it is actually, because I can actually give you an application that you can open up, and you can open up 5 records. I can search for 5 records, and it'll go open record, open web page, open web page, open web page, open web page, open web page. And now I've got 5 of them open, all secure and all with different passwords. And I'm going, oh, crikey, that was easy. I'll do that again tomorrow. And straight away I'm going, okay, so I don't need to look for my passwords anymore. I don't need to have a help desk team when they ring up in the morning. Oh, I can't remember my password. My daughter's name is, I know that much, but I changed it last week because I need to put a capital H on it because you put a new rule on it, etc., etc. So now that team is actually getting smaller. That team can actually go do some productive work instead of waiting for me to be, because I was actually lazy the month before. Okay, so now all I need to do is open my application with one password, and everything else is done inside there for me. Let's just say I was out drinking last night, and I left my phone and my wallet in the back of the taxi, and my passport is inside there, and now suddenly, oh crikey, I'm in a different country. I'm from Ireland. How do I get home? So I need to go to the consulate, and they'll go, and who are you? Well, my name is Padraigh. Prove it. I have no way of actually proving these things. Do I have a photograph of it? I do, but I left it at home. Okay, so now with a decent application like this, you can now take a photograph of these documents. And I can go to them and go, there you are. There's a photograph of my current passport, and I need to get home. Can you get me home? They'll say, yeah, fine, we'll sort you out. We'll get you home. If I go to the bank and I'm going to go, I am Padraigh Conway, I need some money from you. Can you prove it? I can actually have legal documents stored inside my vault. I can have my passport stored in my vault. I can have bank details stored in my vault. And straight away, sure, no problem. You are who you say you are with the photograph and with all these details. Grant, I'll be able to sort you out for these, for the money you're looking for either personally or for the business. Don't compromise on security. Okay, for an easy tool like this, when default passwords are not changed on firewalls, the front door of your business, if you compromise on the tools in which way you actually create these passwords, you're kind of looking for trouble. So for easy tools like this, you can actually gain an awful lot of security. All the other applications that are outside there are going to help you, but you want to make sure that they're going to stay outside the door in the first place. And then those tools are going to help you. So for the simple little bit of a convenient tool, a secure tool, and all little layers of security that I didn't talk about today, this one will actually have most impact on the ones outside there. That's a nice one from a CIO somewhere. Okay, I'm going to read these. And again, these are a little bit OTT, but you'll get the point. Keeper is truly a time saver, and I'm grateful for it. Keeper is a keeper. Keeper is fantastic. It automatically fills in my login details for me. Wonderful. Saves me so much time. It does. Because all I needed to do was go click 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and straight away it opens up a new tab, puts in my username, puts in my password for me. It's great. Keeper saves me so much time. It's a must-have. It's the best. It saves you time, and it saves that little bit of frustration in the mornings. If I've got a demo at 9:30 in the morning and I come in for 10 to 9, I go down and get my coffee. I'm now back at my seat at 9 o'clock. And now suddenly I'm going to go, okay, so I need to get ready for my demo. And I go, okay, so I need this, I need this, I need this, I need this. I can't remember my password for that. Now I'm actually going to someone else in order to get me in. And now I've got only a quarter of my applications that I've opened. You'll see straight away the stress coming up in my voice. And now I'm going down to help desk for a favor in order to get me on time. So these things actually will reduce your stress levels. And as one of the other slides that are there earlier on, you'll enthusiastically use it because now my stress level has actually gone down, and so it can actually get me to work quicker. Who we are, okay, so we're a company from the States. It is HQ'd in Chicago. It started around about 2011. It started as a consumer product, and of course they came back to Keeper and kind of going, okay, so it's a great product, really well done, however we want more. We want you to bring it into the business for us. We want to be able to write reports. And so, okay, so now we're going to bring it into, and we'll create an admin console especially for the consumers who want to pay for it. So we can pull reports for you. So 2 years ago, I joined the company, and there was short of 100 people. Now, 2 years later, we're short of 200 people, and we're growing constantly. We've got 3 offices. We've got 4 offices, one in the Philippines as well. 3 offices, one in Chicago, one in California, and one in Cork in Ireland. And each one of us moved offices recently because we're just bursting at the seams. So we're growing. It's right time, right place for a product like this. We need to make it simple for people in order to help themselves so they're actually going to stay safe. Don't believe me. Go read some reviews yourselves. There's loads of places in order to get reviews. Every little day, okay, so we're pushing it. We're asking, okay, so test our product. Go look at our product. This is our brand. This is who we are. We've never been breached. We've got 200 people out there either making or selling the actual product for us. Go to read our reviews. Okay, again, some of this is a bit OTT, but you'll get the point. Best-in-class security. Okay, so we're a really good product. Okay, we're flexible. We make it easy for people to actually use it and download it in lots of different ways. It's easy to use. Anybody can use it. If an individual can use it, we've got a family product and can use it. Okay, so my wife can use it, my kids can use it, and I can give it to my mother as well if she wants to use it as well. Absolutely, it's an easy product and it helps people. And you get great support in the US and in the EU as well. So we're covering pretty much all time zones. Okay, so that's a nice one there from Thomson Reuters. Okay, so now that we've actually got into the enterprise, we need to be able to integrate into the enterprise applications as well. How do we onboard people? We integrate with your Active Directory on-premise. We integrate with a single sign-on, Azure, and we're getting to the point where everybody's getting to the point where they're all on cloud as well. So we need to be able to onboard you from those applications, from the enterprise applications and platforms, over to us. We take your email address and we take your name. That's the type of information we actually need. And then we're onboarding you, and straight away you're up and running onto the platform. Life without Keeper. Okay, so I'm going to have to read this, so I do apologize. Unknown password strength. So How do I know what you're actually using it? Be able to pull a report. No ability to audit passwords. Okay, so we need to pull a report. Excessive password related help desk issues. I need to ask someone else in order to get me into my applications. Weak SSO security and limited coverage. Those business integrations I was actually talking about, and onboarding you from Azure and Okta and all those platforms. And password fatigue. I can't remember how I changed my password last week. I can't remember those 3 other passwords that I have to change every 90 days. I'm fed up of having to put up with passwords. We can get away from all that now. I'll just take the last one at the very bottom there. Happy and productive employees on all devices. It's easy for me to get my passwords. It's convenient for me to actually use it. And now I can put in a password that's now 118 characters long. That is long and complex. I can use a song if I want to. As long as I want. Doesn't matter. As long as it's long and complex and nobody's going to guess it. Okay, so we're down over with Hermitage, and thank you very much for them hosting us actually today. If you want any more information, do come over towards us. I'm going to do a demonstration of it in maybe about a half an hour. If you want to come over to us, please do come over. If you have any questions right now, happy to take them.